Well, everybody, this week we'll really test your home on its energy consumption. We want you to know that Ivy Lee Construction can sure help. Mike Washington is back, and you know Ivy Lee is a certified building performance institute, and he's going to tell us what that means. So good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Mike, where were you when you found out the Bills were going to the playoffs?
I was home. I was sitting in my living room watching the game, and I wouldn't turn off the TV. I was getting called to the dinner table. I wanted to watch the second game to see if Cincy would actually win, and they did. I can't believe it.
Wasn't it unbelievable?
It was awesome. So very exciting for us.
It was. My husband was late coming to our New Year's party.
Sure.
I was like, where is he? Where is he? And then I pulled out my phone and said, oh, I know what he's doing.
Yes,
exactly. I couldn't be mad at him.
Exactly. It was great. It was great. So
all right.
Great for the city.
It was great for the city. Let's hope we don't get as cold as Minneapolis, you know, where they're going to be having the Super Bowl. But it's going to be very, very, very cold here.
Yes.
And Mike, this is that perfect time to find out if you've got problems with your house and energy consumption.
Yeah, really. This is the time of year that it really shows that we're really going to we go to houses every single day and we do tons of testing on homes. We're looking for air sealing, which is basically the amount of air movement that's in the house, that's escaping the house going to the outside. We're looking at insulation levels. We're going to look at furnaces, hot water tanks, anything that is helping to keep the heat in and also what is producing it. So it's a double-edged sword, and we're always trying to improve homes, and what's the best way to do that? And every home is different.
And let's also mention, too, you've put in a lot of doors and windows this year, and that is big because you'll test with those before you even leave.
Yeah, windows and doors, it's huge. You know, the typical house that we actually see out there when we go test, between the air leakage that's in a house, it's almost like having a large window wide open in the middle of winter.
Right.
That's how much leak, if you add up all the leaks around the whole house, that we can definitely improve upon for you.
Now let's talk about a misnomer. The misnomer is if you have a lot of snow on the roof and no ice damming, well after everybody else does, well, guess what? That's a good thing because that means you got good insulation.
That's a good thing. This house actually here, we actually insulated this house. There's a spot here and here that there's actually some lights up top, but if you look at the gutter line here, there's not much icicles there at all, and real small amount of meltdown going on in this home.
If you're the first house that the snow is gone first,
yes,
in your whole neighborhood, that's a sign your insulation is not good.
Yeah,
right.
Really, if you're driving around and you're out snowblowing and you see a house that there's a ton of huge icicles, this is another house that we insulated. This is a larger home out in Clarence. When we started, there was huge icicles on this house, and if you notice now, there's one little icicle there, one there, and that's it. And look at the top of that roof; it's actually covered with snow. That's a real good indicator that hey, the air sealing's done properly in that house, and the proper level of insulation is in there.
That's cool how you go back and check.
Yeah, and we'll actually go back with our IR guns. So infrared guns will actually see any hot spots or cool spots in the house, and we're always out using those. We're out today using those right now.
All right. Okay.
So this is that house that we showed first before we insulated it.
Wow.
So you see the two spots here. Okay, there wasn't a ton of improvement there, but look at the ice that was on that front of that house.
Wow.
Those are almost all the way down to the ground. This one is touching the ground.
That's dangerous.
That's a ton of danger there, and your house is not built for that. The gutters will fall off. There's a ton of things that will go wrong. The ice will back up, actually cause a lot of infiltration, water infiltration on the meltdown. Eventually, you're going to get a leak.
Yeah, that's bad.
This is that same house that we just looked. And if you look at the meltdown on top of this roof and these other planes that are melting down, and look at the large icicles, look at the large icicles coming down that whole side.
And look at the icicles right over the car.
It's huge icicles there. Again, large home needed a lot of TLC to get that air sealed and then insulated properly. And at the end of the day, there are repairs and ways to do every single house out there.
And you know, Mike, what's interesting too, this is not an old house.
No.
This is a new house, and I'm sure they did insulation up to code, but you notice that's not necessarily enough.
That house was under 5 years old when we insulated it.
All right, now we're going to go to the after again. Hang on a second. Take a look. Now, everybody, you're already looking at the one that Ivy Lee has worked on. Look at the difference from the current picture, the old picture, to the current picture. Wow, they're using energy much more efficiently.
Really are. And the meltdown is not there. The icicles are no longer there. You don't have to worry about large icicles falling down, hitting anyone in your house, hitting your car, any property damage, and also no water infiltration backing up from the gutter lines into the roof.
Oh, that's
happens
scary.
a lot
when you
with
start
a lot of
seeing
ice.
water inside. Oh, you know, we got big problems outside.
So how are we doing that? We're using a couple products in this application. So at the top here in this angle, that's foam insulation, and these walls got foam. So it's a two-part product, spray foam. That is the best insulation you can get, the best air sealing qualities, plus the highest R value we can achieve. Now, if you look down here in the bottom, that insulation, that's cellulose blow-in insulation. We use a lot of that product also. That cellulose insulation also has great properties for air sealing characteristics and gives you also a high R value when it's installed properly.
It's also fire resistant, isn't it?
It is fire resistant. Yep, that's exactly what that is. That's a recycled product. This is down in a basement in a crawl space, the rim joist. So the lower portion of this, that's a concrete foundation wall. Okay, this is the ceiling joist above, so the area between the top of your foundation wall down in your basement to the subfloor is a huge area that you need to insulate. The foam is the best application, again, gives you the best R value and gives you the best air sealing qualities. We can go and insulate around pipes, hose bibs that are going outside, any wires that might be there. That way you fill every nook and cranny.
Yeah, and you know, think about the pests that don't come in.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
Right?
It really is the best.
Okay.
It works great.
All right, there's more cellulose.
This is showing more cellulose. We're trying to get 16 to 18 inches in attics. You want to get to about an R60 up in these attics if you can. The code is calling for R48, so we always try to exceed that. Cellulose is definitely the way to go. This is an addition that we did a couple years ago. Now this was all foamed. All the walls were foamed here. You actually spray on, and then you actually have to cut that back to get it smooth to apply your drywall.
Right.
And then if you look up here in the attic, in the ceiling and the rafter area, that was all foamed.
Yeah.
That's all spray foam there. Again, sound quality really condenses, no outside signs coming in. You have the highest R values again and the highest air sealing qualities.
And of course, with the windows and the doors, you're making sure completely all the way around.
Foam all the way around, all those.
No
that way
drafts,
you can
nothing
get
like
in
that.
all the nooks and crannies.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be so much more comfortable for these folks with this weekend's cold weather coming in.
For sure. Installing windows, we're also using foam around all our windows, so it's going to fill in this whole pocket all the way around between the drywall and the new construction window in this application.
All right, everybody, and remember, you know, you're getting less dust, you're getting less pollen, and all sorts of stuff like that. You're certainly getting a lot less noise, and the humidity will be right. You have better humidity control. All right, Mike is going to help you in the new year. There's always ways to save money on these projects, but by all means, make your call now to Ivy Lee Construction or log on today and make your house a lot more comfortable.